Bless, bless, bless. It's the Down to Earth podcast, the Down to Earth network on EQTV also. Yep, tonight we got a special episode. We're
Yeah,
talking about
boy.
a legend, an icon. You know, he's like a superhero to many, Mr. Bruce Lee,
No,
right?
man. Call him by right name, man.
What?
Master Bruce.
Master Bruce Lee.
Yes,
Master Bruce Lee
Master
was
Bruce.
he was born in November 27th, 1940 in California, somewhere in
Mm-hmm.
California.
That's
A
right.
lot of people might think he was born in China, but actually he went to China and he grew up in China, right? So it was Hong Kong, British Hong Kong, because
Mm.
remember Hong Kong was colonized kind of by the British, and
Yeah,
that's where
that's
he
right.
came from. So it's like kind of surprising to a lot of people. He's born in America, in California. He came back in 1959 when he was like
Mm.
19. So when he was
Mm-hmm.
19, he came to America and went straight to university or college.
Yeah.
So you see what happened. His parents made sure, like many other, he's not a foreigner really, but it's funny that he's born in America and grew up in China and came back to America for education, and then he started his martial arts. What's called let me see something. How it go. I'm trying to think. He went back to America in 1959. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he already knew martial arts growing up,
Yeah.
right? So there's some point where he goes back to China. I just know that he started to study martial arts. He's Buddhism, Taoism, I think it's called, and
Yeah.
like other forms of philosophy, because they say he's a philosopher, he's an
Mm-hmm.
actor,
Mm-hmm.
he's martial artist, and I think when he got in some brawl, remember we were talking about this before.
This
That's
guy,
when he
yo,
developed
this guy got in a lot
his
of street.
techniques.
This guy got in a lot of street brawls, yo. He was a
That's what
street.
they're saying.
They said that he was more of a street fighter, like in the martial arts world. That's like, how should I say, like an insult. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they
He's
said
like
that's how
more
he
of a
developed
street
his style.
fighter and all of that. But that's how he developed his mixed
Yeah,
martial arts, man.
but the street fighting started in China when he was growing up. The
Yeah.
street fight, and I think he was introduced to Ip Man. Ip Man's a real person.
Yeah.
That was his master, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when he was in China, when his parents left America after he was born, 1940, as he was getting older, he was introduced to the Ip Man, right? So that's how he learned a lot of his martial arts. That was his master. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of things, and after he was into producing like movies, he was always
But
interested
but
in
but
that.
but even I think even before the martial arts, he was always interested in acting and shit.
Yeah, he was always interested
As a
in
kid,
acting.
as a kid.
Yes, because
Mm.
remember, if his parents were really from, I mean, he was really born in America. He grew up fantasizing about this place where he was really born, but his Chinese background, but he was
Mm-hmm.
really born in America. So he was probably really into watching American television. But remember, he came to America in 1959. He was about 19, right
Yeah.
at that perfect age, going to school. And after what, I think he started doing the movies, right? Because
Yeah.
he's originally from, I think he was growing up in Seattle. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? He went to Seattle, and after then he went to California later on. He had the link to Hollywood from going to California, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember, he started the school after he got famous for his fights. He started his school, and the school was in California. I think he had one in Seattle first, right? He had one in Seattle first, and then one then in California. He went to school in where did he originally? I think it was Seattle. He went to school
Yeah.
because he was just born in California. California,
Mm.
right? And we all know. California is where Hollywood is. It's coincidence that's like the place he was born, and that's the place where he started to really get big internationally. Even
True
though
that.
people thought he was from China, I thought he was born in China at one point. What you know about Bruce Lee?
Mr. Lee. All I know is say like, I think more his pops was like more superstitious on for him staying in China. You know what I mean? So he wanted him to go back to America. You know
And
what I
it's
mean?
kind of funny he was born in America.
Yeah.
Like I have to admit, I know people who are really into Bruce Lee a lot would know that, but there's still, I think, a lot of people who don't know that he's really American.
Well, anyway, first student was black in America,
I could believe that.
and the man got him more students, man.
Yeah,
Afterwards, you know what I
and
mean?
that's when he set up his school. Got real big in California. I think he had one in Oakland, right?
Yeah.
And two places in California. I think he had schools. His school started to grow because from Seattle he went to LA or California and he got big there. And from that, a lot of actors like who are probably famous who are into this martial arts thing because it was this big thing to learn for especially celebrities that time. That's how he got into Hollywood a lot. Connections, I mean. Green Hornet, wasn't that like one of his first, you say, TV roles or any film type of role?
No,
I mean, in
that
America.
was for America.
Yeah, for America.
He was doing the martial arts and movies in China.
In the 60s, yeah, in the 60s. Because most of the movies, what we know, was made near not too far from his death.
Mhm.
The five movies they talk about, what are very popular, was made in a span from I think like the early 70s to 78.
Mhm.
He had a good career still. When it comes to being a movie star, it's too bad he couldn't have more of his presence. Yeah, he had a good career because you said he had a career in China doing some movies. You're right.
Yeah, I did a couple of movies there.
And
Mhm.
then they remaster those and like translate them later on.
Yeah.
So what's one of your favorite Bruce Lee movies if you were to like put down the
Um,
list?
um, I think Chinese Connection, Game of Death, and Enter the Dragon.
Look at that grubber lick you.
Hmm. Yeah, man.
And, but he has some more. He has more. He has a couple more we forget.
Hmm.
But he revolutionized the action hero
Oh
because
yeah, man.
after him, everybody was doing martial arts in the movies.
Well, you know that Jackie Chan was like I think his stunt double or something like that, right?
No, I never knew. I never knew that
No, he worked with him in the
in the
early
early
days.
days.
Mhm.
That's to show you that Jackie Chan,
You knew him.
he knew him. Yeah, yeah. That's why Jackie Chan is himself probably a
And then
great
you have
martial
the other
artist.
guy there, that big guy, Bolo Young. He knew him
Bolo
too.
Young. Yeah.
Chuck Norris knew him too
Chuck Norris mentioned
because he
that
did a
he was
movie
his
with.
friend. He
Yeah,
said he
he
was his friend.
he fought him in the movie, one of the movies.
Yeah. You could never get bored of a Bruce Lee movie.
Nah.
You never get bored of. That's how good his movies were or are. Right. So the last movie he done was what? Which one was
Game of
that?
Death.
That's Game of Death. That's the one what introduced a lot of people to, I think, like really hit a lot of people.
The strange thing is, he never completed it.
He didn't. He didn't complete it.
No, they got a double later on to do the parts, some of the parts. He didn't complete the movie.
Damn. So like his impact, Bruce Lee, was big on the movie industry in regards to like action heroes. Because later on, you had many what came like Van Damme, right? Steven Seagal, um, even there's more. I'm not even thinking of. I'm just thinking of the popular ones, like especially in the '80s. Who you know who like became like known for martial arts besides Bruce Lee? Like there's Chuck Norris, yeah,
Oh
Jackie
yeah.
Chan.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple others, but they never really made it, right? That's why Van Damme's so big and Steven Seagal. It's only two you could really name, like American action heroes who copied. I'm not saying copy, but the tradition of martial arts, like what Bruce Lee brought.
I forget what the guy's name. The black guy there. He was in
Oh,
he was in Enter the Dragon with him. He was influenced by it, Bruce Lee too. I forget his name. He had an afro and all of that.
Enter
He
the
did
Dragon.
a couple of martial art movies back in the 70s too.
Yeah, there was a couple.
I forget what the guy's
Can't
name
remember
at
his
the
name,
moment.
but yeah, Bruce Lee even influenced hip hop. Bruce Lee influenced a lot of black culture in America because I think that that's one reason Bruce Lee's so big because it's not just one type of person.
Mm-hmm.
He is international like Bob Marley. You know, Bob Marley, people of all cultures know about him. That's Bruce Lee.
But just like Bob,
That grab a licking boss.
well, just like
Kung
Bob,
Fu. That's up.
just like Bob, his
Big
own
chill.
people
Yeah,
was against him in his earlier days until he really make it. That's when the peoples really appreciate it.
that's what
Both of them.
happened with Bruce Lee.
Both of them.
Yeah. So Bruce Lee made up his own martial arts too. I think it was called Wing Chun,
Yeah, he mixed all mixed.
right? And he learned a type of martial arts. Which one was it? From Ip Man.
Well, since you said that, you would have to say, well, if they're to say it in a strange way, must have influenced the UFC because of mixed martial arts.
Yeah, he did. Bless up, Big Chill. You're right. He did influence the UFC and a lot of different martial art leagues because he was doing competitions, right? He was showcasing himself in the '60s. That's what I looked up. He was showcasing himself,
But you
and
see, that because of that, that's why in the martial art world, remember, they in those days they didn't really like them teaching
yeah,
other
because he wasn't just
other
doing the
races.
he wasn't just teaching that. He was teaching philosophy. He
No,
was
but I'm talking about teaching other races. The
yeah. And what
martial
made them
arts.
mad? What made them angry? He brought like their philosophy in a book, like putting like the Buddhists and putting the to like the culture Toists. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Well,
He would
some say the family's cursed because as you
well
could know that his son, what happened to him, he died. So right.
would the curse be linked to maybe the family spreading the philosophy? Because the philosophy is like we would call like a religion.
Well, one way or another, evolution's gonna happen anyway. So
Mm.
he's seeing evolution of the future. So regardless, it's gonna be him. It'll be anybody else. So
Big chill. Jackie Chan, Drunken Master. Yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of styles what comes from martial arts, right? There's a whole bunch of
definitely.
styles. Who got influenced in the like I was
But
saying?
you know, what was in the 70s? I think in America, when a lot of them were coming back from Vietnam and shit, right? They some of them were using the martial arts, and that's when they were considering it your hands as if you know it illegal, like you have weapon.
Oh, that's when they got really introduced to it a lot. I see. It
Because
makes sense.
remember when it came back, a lot people didn't know it,
You're
and the
right.
ones them know it now beat people with it, bro.
Hmm. That
You
makes
get me?
sense. Yeah. You're wondering how they know all of this type of fighting where they could beat even a cop down.
Yeah.
Whoever didn't go to the Vietnam didn't understand or wasn't expecting somebody to know to use those techniques on them. You're right,
Hmm.
because Bruce Lee was really introduced in America in late 60s and what do you say, the 70s, early 70s.
Well, that's almost the same time around Vietnam.
Yeah. So they were probably getting some influence from his energy being in America, right? And having his martial arts school. And after then, more schools start opening. You know,
Hmm.
people seeing his success, right? Other
Oh, they
people who
didn't want him
probably
to teach though.
no, but it's not just him though. There's probably other people who was doing martial arts too, had their own schools, but he just amplified it because he was probably the first real Asian, like looking Chinese American, if you want to call it, who was promoting it. So that's more of a threat. They probably had other people doing martial arts commercially out there before him, but it
Mm.
wasn't. They didn't take it as serious until he came in, until they saw Bruce Lee and he has movies. The other guys weren't a threat. They didn't have no spotlight on him. Chuck Norris was around, remember?
Yeah, but let's just get real here. Of course, he's a threat because during that time, let's get real here. Who was Asian and in the American world repping in
No,
from the
nobody. That's why
okay
he
then
is a threat.
that and let's get real here. Yeah, people knew him, but you see back home, yo, just like the Green Hornet, it wasn't called the Green Hornet show. They called it the Kato show. He was that big back home, bro.
Yeah, they called it the Kato Show. Meanwhile, in America it was the Green Hornet Show.
That's right.
Yeah,
Because yo, they finally got an Asian big on
yeah,
their screens now. You
yeah.
know what I'm
When you
saying?
think of Green
That's like
Hornet, you
that's
don't
like a
even.
big hero, man, to them.
But when you think of Green Hornet, you don't think of the so-called main guy. You think of Kato. Even from the old show, he brought
Hmm.
the action. I was always waiting to see what Bruce Lee's gonna do.
Hmm.
What when the villains come around, what Bruce Lee's gonna do? Because you saw him on the big screen afterwards too, like with his own movies.
Hmm.
So those Green Hornet episodes are like classic. I'm surprised you don't even see like a remastering promotion of that. Like I don't know how much seasons it went, but
Yeah, but at
that's
the
what
same
brought him
but
in.
at the same time after that he gave away a bit what of his ideas, the kung fu,
Mhm.
the Wild West. And and it's another that other guy they got that other guy to do it.
Oh, I see.
You know what
Yeah,
I
they got the
mean?
other guy to do it. He done it for a long time too,
Hmm.
for years, right? But it's really Bruce Lee who created that like idea.
But do you know he the I don't know if you watched Warrior.
No.
Warrior is one of his ideas based off of his ideas because I think the daughter put it out like because I think I don't know if he wrote it or something or he had it in one of his old books or something like that, but it's based off of his ideas at Warrior.
So like
So
I
it's a
know they even.
series it's a series online. Warrior.
Do you think the family has full control like of all of his let's say material out there, like
I
how
would
the Marleys?
I would assume so, but I don't know about like okay, like music and movies. I don't know if the rights and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Remember, there's the American ones, but there weren't many. It was more the Asian ones. So I don't know how that goes.
Because he
You know
got a
what I'm
lot of
saying?
books. He got a lot of like merchandise you see out there. There's video games I've seen over the years. Like you see a lot of merch just of Bruce Lee. like his image out there from where we were kids, yo,
I
up
know.
until now. There's all T-shirts. There's like I said, video games,
Yeah.
books, movies. So the family, if they have control, they've been making a lot of money still off, you know.
True.
And after, but it's just sad that he lost his son passed away similar.
Well, it's almost like like I told you, almost like a family curse. The guy died on set by a bullet. What was supposed to be what the blanks?
Who died on set? Oh, the son,
Yeah,
Brandon. Oh yeah,
Brandon Lee.
and he done the Crow movie too.
That
He was
was
the one who
after.
done the
Yeah, it
Crow
was. I
movie.
think it was during the Crow movie. There,
During the Crow movie,
I think so, wasn't it? That was
I'm
his
wondering.
last movie.
I know he done like a little bit of movies, like
Yeah, he
maybe
did a bit of
three.
movies before he died. Before that,
It's weird, yo. Both father and son kind of dies like mysterious,
exactly.
and they say there was a curse. Some people said like curse, like they're
Yeah,
saying there was like a brain, something to do with some brain. I don't know, aneurysm with Bruce Lee or something like that. I don't know if it's an aneurysm. It's called something else, something to do with the brain. That's what they're saying, right? But people just speculate, and
mm,
maybe I don't know if that's the final whatever ex- uh, situation, because people will make up all types of stuff. But yeah, Bruce Lee's very influential. Like you said, the UFC, um, martial arts and movies. You see it in X Men. You see it in Marvel and DC characters. They know martial arts. A lot of the characters. Um, I'm surprised they don't have someone who's like Bruce Lee in any of the Marvel universe or DC. Do they?
um,
That'd be an
what?
interesting character.
What do you
Someone
mean?
who's that like, who like doesn't look like no, looks like an average man, right?
Yeah,
Maybe from Asia, like a
yeah. They
martial artist,
do
but
have
with a super.
they do. Um,
Who?
fuck, what the Asian one there? Oh, what's it called? Shang-Chi?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
was that Marvel?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. They're starting to introduce that character now more.
Yeah.
When did that one? When did that officially come out? I know it's been around probably Marvel for a while, but like any type of episode or production.
Hmm?
When did that? Did they come out with a production yet?
Yeah, the movie already came out.
I
You
never
never
watched
watched
it.
it?
No.
Uh,
What's the story? Similar?
what do you mean?
Like how they do they take a little bit from Bruce Lee? Like
No. It's Shang-Chi. Remember, Marvel's Marvel, man. It's different.
no, but I mean they could take inspiration. Like Marvel does take inspiration from real life, like X Men. You know where they got that story from with the mutants and stuff.
No, it's all about the rings, the certain rings, the power,
Okay,
like ring. Yeah,
it's all about the rings, but he knows martial arts.
yeah.
Where's he from?
I have to watch it again. Well, I think he's in America, but he doesn't know that his family lineage from
It's
Asia.
China.
Yeah.
Okay, they're twisted. It's kind of funny because Bruce Lee's born in America and after grew up in China, Hong Kong.
Mm,
That's how the real that story is.
Zin.
So you think they should do like a new Bruce Lee movie? I know the other one what they done was pretty good. It's real good how they done it.
Yeah.
But do you think they should do like a not say remake, but just a new version?
New version. Well, I don't know.
Did you like the biopic? What they had of him?
The biopic?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Which
You,
biopic?
you never watched it? The Dragon.
Yeah.
I think it's the
I mean,
Dragon, right?
yeah, Dragon. I've seen
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Okay, so I liked it.
It's
Right?
good.
It's good. So you don't
Yeah.
think they need to touch it anymore? They don't need to do it again.
Nah, man. It's good enough.
Okay, that's fair. Because I do like it. and stuff like that. Do like
Yeah.
it, but some of his close friends, famous, was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Chuck Norris, the bar basketball player from the Lakers. So Bruce Lee was Hollywood already and stuff. He was already up there, big already, a lot of influence.
True. True that. hmm
Well, it did influence hip hop a lot, like Wu Tang Clan for sure. A lot of the Wu Tang Clan, they got influenced by martial arts movies. There's all types of martial arts movies,
Oh
but
yeah,
Bruce Lee is the most popular one.
definitely, definitely big influence.
So, what do you think about the influence of like martial arts or Bruce Lee on the hip hop culture?
Yo, it goes hand in hand. You know what I mean? And it goes wicked. That's all I have to say because everybody has like their different technique and style in hip hop. So it goes hand in hand. It makes it's like a metaphor. Perfect
Yeah, like
metaphor.
yeah, because anytime you see like action in a movie and it's martial arts, nothing beats when you see like I mean when hear hip hop music with
hmm
fighting. For any type of fighting, especially martial arts, hip hop is perfect with it. When you have like Wu Tang, especially great artists like Wu Tang, put it to like that, nothing beats it.
Levels, man. You know.
Yeah, that's like for example, RZA. He used a lot of his music with like martial arts.
Yeah, influential. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like I said, everybody has their different technique, style. It goes hand in hand. You know what I mean? It makes sense. hmm
Bruce Lee, like he's one of the major figures, I would say, in industry, and that's martial arts. He is the major uh, figure in martial arts. There's other people, but when you think of karate, who do you think of?
Yo, man, just like when them think of reggae, then think of Bob first. So when you think of martial arts, you think of Bruce first, star.
Yeah, I can't think of nobody else. Really, when you think of martial arts, you think of Bruce Lee. When you think of a karate suit, you think of Bruce Lee.
Especially that yellow one.
Yeah,
That yellow one with the black stripe in it. Influenced Kill Bill movie there.
yeah, and it influenced people wrestling because a lot of people had characters or like model themselves like a martial art artist, and I know the influence is Bruce Lee.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Most def.
like you said, this curse, what people talk about must have been linked to his family from like what the tale is linked, if it's true, linked from a long time, way before him.
Mm-hmm.
They really, if I don't know if they really believe that. I don't know if that's fact, but people have been talking about it for years, and they put it in the movie too. Like but then there's the story of him having a fight too, and getting hurt,
Well,
and through his therapy, that's when he created his book,
well,
philosophy.
the thing is, it's not the question how he died. It's just the question how he lived. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he had a philosophy what a lot of people lived by. Remember, he had students too. So all the students of Bruce Lee, I'm guessing a good maybe a good amount of them became had their own schools after, or they took it and benefited like some way off of it. Because he does have books.
Mm-hmm.
I know Bruce Lee does have books,
Yeah. True.
and he has just a daughter living right now, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if his wife is still living, but his daughter's still around and spreading his his philosophy, or keeping him alive, his memory alive. But
Well, you
no.
got he has loyalists who are keeping it alive. I see
Hmm.
certain ones on IG still, man. They keep his legacy alive still, man.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I heard that one of his scripts, like what you're talking about, they might make it into a movie.
Mm.
You sure that one what you're talking about is not from Bruce Lee?
Warrior,
Oh, it's Warriors. Okay, it's that one.
that series, yeah,
Okay, I never watched the series. It's on Netflix.
I believe so.
I gotta check it out, man. You watched the whole thing?
Oh yeah, man. Long story short, it's about is it the 1800s? I can't remember, but yeah, like back, yeah, I think it's the 1800s or so. And the Chinese cause come to America and they have their own mafia and shit and everything. You know what I mean, in Chinatown.
Oh, so it's basically showing you like the culture of Chinese Americans, and after then,
Yes.
showing the good and the bad.
Yeah.
Their, their like kind of their story
Yeah.
in Hollywood. That must be interesting. Must be interesting to see that stuff like that. So that was Bruce Lee's story. He wrote that.
I believe so. Or
So he
well, I
he was
know that it said something about Bruce Lee inspired or something when it starts.
either way. His main goal was to be a big director, a big movie director and producer in Hollywood. If he never passed, he would have been
I
very big.
believe he would have been doing a bit of
80s?
movies, but I think it would have been like more like getting older. You've probably been still after school, but be more of a choreographer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he would have done that, but I could have seen him having a whole bunch of movies in the 80s if he never passed. He would have been doing a lot of movies. You see how you see like Terminator and a lot of these big hits
Yeah, I
what
know,
came out
but
in the
I'm just
80s?
saying after getting older,
Yeah.
I think during he would be more of a choreographer.
Oh, yeah. But he was still young when he died. He was 32,
I know.
1978. He was
Yeah.
32. So he had a lot of years still to go in Hollywood. Like I'm saying, imagine he never passed away, 1978.
Mm-hmm.
And in the 80s, when you see all these action movies coming out, you would have probably been doing a lot of different roles.
Mm-hmm.
Futuristic movies, maybe police movies. You would have been like in like a police officer in some movie. You know what I mean? Like I could have seen him
Mm-hmm.
playing those roles because, like I said, he was 32 in 1978.
Mm-hmm.
They had a lot of movies what start coming out from those times, all the way to the 80s, all through the 80s.
It's just
That's why a lot you have Van Damme. That's what made Van Damme so big, and Steven Seagal and certain others because he birthed that whole genre, martial arts with action hero.
well,
Who's the
that's right.
other one besides Bruce Lee you know of who started to be popular in the martial arts as you were growing up? Who else?
Well, you mentioned Van Damme, Seagal, and then you have that JL White, the black guy there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about from Spawn. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But even before him, like in the '80s, growing up,
Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris. Yeah, you're
Chuck
right, Chuck
Norris, man.
Norris. So we would
Chuck,
say Chuck
Chucky.
Norris, Van Damme, and Steven Seagal.
Mm-hmm.
Them three was running it.
Mm-hmm.
No one else came close to them.
Pretty much in it. Yeah, them in the 80s, like, yeah, I have to
And
say that.
I seen Billy Blanks in a couple of martial
Oh
arts
yeah,
movies.
well, him it was more of the underground.
Yeah,
He wasn't like, but then after from there he started doing the workout videos.
yeah. That's how he's
You know
smart.
what I mean? I
He's smart.
remember
That's how he branch off.
I watched it a couple of months ago. King of the Kickboxers. He was in that King of the Kickboxers.
Yeah, he was in a couple movies, man.
Yeah.
And especially in the 80s, yo.
Hmm.
He was in a couple of
Yeah, it
movies,
came
but
out in
that's
the
what got him big.
80s.
Yeah, that's what got him big. And then he got into like doing the exercise type of videos
Yeah,
with
like
martial arts.
the martial art mix doing
Yeah,
exercise moves.
mixed martial arts too. He's one of the first. He's probably one of
Exercise
the.
workout doing martial arts.
Yeah, he's the veteran of that.
Yeah.
He introduced a lot of that, like, or reintroduced that commercially by doing like his commercials,
Mm-hmm.
the examples, putting the music, putting the exercise and the martial arts in, all
Mm-hmm.
mixed. That's what Bruce Lee was trying doing. Bruce Lee was doing that, but what he done, Billy Blanks, is basically, and you can't blame him. He 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 took what he learned as from the martial arts and commercialized it into something where he can make money from besides doing movies.
Mm-hmm.
And he done the videotape exercising with martial arts, and he has a resume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has a resume. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
man. But yeah, Bruce Lee, born November 27th, 1940, in California. Legend, true legend, man. Like you said, Master Lee.
Mm-hmm.
He left a big legacy behind, influenced culture all around the world.
Mm.
He's the Michael Jackson, if you want, of martial arts, or
Mm-hmm.
vice versa.
Man,
So,
he's it.
what you want to say before we come off the spaceship?
Well, this is an episode, featuring Mr. Lee.
Hmm.
But anything else you watched? We're on Heroes and Villains here.
Oh, what's it called again? I watched it. Ocean. It's called again.
What you watch?
Invincible.
Oh,
Invincible.
the Invincible.
Yeah,
Yo, that is ton up.
I watched
That
the whole
for
series.
what the
Bloody.
all of them, all the seasons.
I watch all the seasons.
So what you
Bloody.
think?
Yeah, man, that's bloody, and it's not even a real like. It's not even real life, like
You know what? You
characters,
know what
but
reminds
it's
me of
bloody.
Invincible?
Yeah,
I don't know if you watched The Boys.
yeah, it's exactly that type of
It's like
storyline,
yeah, it's
but
almost
just
like
a
The
little
Boys.
bit different.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah.
when you watch Invincible, it's cold, but it's interesting because they're making you look at the hero in a different
Yeah.
view,
Yes.
which is more realistic to me.
Yes.
That's how it would kind of be,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I don't want to ruin it for people, but look up the Invincibles, right? I can't wait to see whenever they have the new season. That's gonna be a while
Well,
ago, but
it's from a comic book, right?
yeah, I heard it's from a comic book.
And I think, well, because of what I see, what their multiverse is like, I think it's from Image Comics because they
Yes,
say
it's
they're
from
gonna do a
Image.
crossover with Spawn.
Yeah, it's from Image,
You know?
and that's why it's probably a certain darkness because that's where the crow comes from. That's where
Savage Dragon,
Spawn comes from.
Savage Dragon, Wildcats.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
I never looked up the Wildcats, but I just know Crow.
Wildcats is like a government group, a super
Hmm.
group.
That's probably going to be a next series coming out of their comic company.
Yeah.
Image is more like of dark, very dark
You ever heard of
characters.
Savage Dragon?
No.
He's like a man who's a dragon, but I think he's like a cop.
Wait, but isn't there the guy who's the devil too?
Oh,
That's from Image
um
Comics.
what do you what do
I
you
forgot his name.
the one with the broken horn, right?
Yeah, he had his own series.
I forget what it's called again.
Yeah, he has his own series, right? He's
Can't
in I can't remember his name, but he has his own series.
mm.
He has his own series too. It was big. But Image Comics with the Invincibles,
Mhm.
I give it a 10 for like even episodes, and it's not even like it's animated. That's what we'll call it,
Yeah, animation.
animation. But it
Anime.
has like it's like a certain style type of animation.
Hmm.
You notice how they
Yeah.
draw the characters? It's like
Yeah.
how they were doing it in the 80s or late 80s.
Well, more of a upscale.
Yeah, it's an upscale, but
Yeah.
the style is like it's really like the comic too. They brought the comic to life.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really like the comic,
Yeah.
and it's very violent, people.
Yeah.
Very
Oh
violent.
yeah.
I don't
I
think
love it.
Marvel or DC is not doesn't have nothing on that
Love
type
it. I love it.
of
Love it a lot, man. Love
yeah,
it
and
a lot.
there's the Daredevil series. I have to watch that.
Oh, yeah, Daredevil Reborn. I watched that.
I have to watch that. I'm
That's
hearing
not.
good things
I
about it.
don't know. Some people are having their they say, "Oh, this." I go, well. They did say this one is about Matt Murdock. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? More about Matt Murdock. Now, this next season of it should be turned up because more of the war is about to go on with, with the mayor who's Wilson Fisk. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, like, like sometimes a story needs to stretch out to make sense, to make it look good. Some people are just more impatient. You know what I mean? I like in-depthness when it comes to a story, especially if it's you know, especially if it's a superhero like that. You know what I mean?
Mhm. And the
Yeah.
Punisher, I'm guessing they're gonna start a new
Oh,
season for the
they
Punisher. I'm looking
introduced
for that.
yeah, they introduced back the Punisher in the last episode. Still,
That's what
you
I'm
know what
looking
I
for, yo.
mean? I'm
That's
not saying anything else, but yo, he's back, and the rumor is that they done that on purposely because they want to be introducing another series of the Punisher again.
mm,
You know
that
what I
was one
mean?
of my
Which
favorite.
which was a good friggin' series if you ever get
Yeah,
to watch it.
the Daredevil and the Punisher to me so far is the best Marvel series on Netflix so
Oh
far for
yeah,
me.
man, for sure.
They're
Most
the best for me.
definitely, man. Most definitely. You know what
Well,
I mean?
yo, this was the Bruce Lee episode. I hope you guys took in what you
Hmm.
can. You guys should do research, look him up. He's a legend.
Damn
Very
right.
interesting. He has a history, a big history that influenced a culture, a genre, whatever you want to call it. Mr. Master Bruce Lee. Yo,
Master
this is
Lee.
the Down to Earth Network, Down to Earth podcast on EQTV
You don't
with
know.
Sean Myrie and Rastafari Samurai.
Which never leaves you dry in your eye, and I approve this message. Nation. What?
People
Zin.
subscribe, people. Subscribe to the platform D2E. Bless up.